it's Jessii Vee. Do you like my Care Bear shirt? It says good vibes and they're rollerblading. I don't know, I just thought it was so cute. Anyways guys, as you can tell by the title of today's video, today I am talking about a little boy named Peter who went through something absolutely tragic that changed his whole life. He was known to be a feral child who was kept as a royal pet, which is awful. I feel like no one knows about this story because I didn't find out until a couple days ago. I was reading about it all day long and I was baffled. So of course I had to come on here and tell you guys because this story is strange and unusual, but more than that, it is absolutely heartbreaking. But before I get started, I just wanted to announce a couple things. The first thing is that we still have a huge Boxing Day week sale going on our website. I have put the link down below, but if there's anything you had your eye on, now is the time to get it because we do have a huge sale happening for the next couple days. We only do this once a year, so take advantage of it. That even means a new tracksuit is on sale. And also this is the last day you're going to be seeing this holiday Christmas background. So if you would like to win it, all you have to do is be subscribed to this channel, turn on your notification bell, and then head over to my Facebook page. All you have to do is search Jessii Vee. My account is verified, so it will show up first, and just give it a follow. And with that being said, let's get right into today's video. In 1725, a hunting party stumbled upon a young boy in northern Germany's Herzwald forest. And although his specific age was unknown, they thought that he was to be around 12 years old. Now, the boy was alone in this forest and appeared to have been living there for some time, surviving on a diet of plants, nuts, and acorns. They say this boy had long matted hair, he had long fingernails, his skin was sunburned. The hunters literally described him as filthy and nude, and he seemed completely unable to speak. He apparently only communicated using a variety of grunts and squeaks. So they said he sounded like an animal and he even sort of looked like an animal. Although he could not walk upright, he was very good at climbing trees and navigating through the forest on all fours. The locals even complained that occasionally he would wander into the town and he would pick pockets, he would steal food, and apparently he would try to kiss a lot of the ladies in the town. Locals speculated the boy was abandoned in the forest as a baby and was raised by wild animals. There was even rumors suggesting that he was mothered by a bear, a wild boar, or a wolf. Although none of these animals were present in the forest when they found him, he was just by himself. Now, after he was found, the locals started to pay more attention to him. They were really intrigued by him and his story. So they began to call him Peter the Wild Boy. They also even launched this effort to try and find his family, but despite their best efforts, they were never able to find anyone who knew him or was related to him. It was literally like his family just vanished off the face of the earth. So no one really knew what happened to him or why he was alone. I mean, he was 12 years old and looked like he was there since he was a baby. Stories about this wild boy eventually reached the ears of Great Britain's King George I, who was just so fascinated by his story and wanted the boy to be brought to his palace. So King George's daughter-in-law, Princess Caroline of Wales, arranged for Peter to be brought to Kensington Palace. Now, at first he was kept as this sort of strange and entertaining kind of pet for all of the royals, which yes, that is super messed up. He's still a human and should not be treated as a pet. But people still say that Peter was treated kindly regardless. Apparently the entire time he was in their care, he was happy. Now, as expected, Peter faced a lot of hardships with this new life. He had to adapt to all the changes and being with royals, which meant that he had to act royal. Although he was expected to use utensils, he preferred to eat with his hands. He also resisted wearing any clothing. He always wanted to be nude. And he seemed more comfortable to sleep on the floor rather than his bed, which was provided to him. Princess Caroline hired Dr. Arbuthnot to arrange Peter's education and help him develop social skills. She also hired this large group of servants that were only dedicated to caring for Peter, to make sure that he had daily care, to make sure that he was disciplined. They were trying to transform him from a pet to like a normal man. Peter eventually learned to walk upright and seemed to enjoy his new life. They say he especially enjoyed listening to music and he got really close with a lot of the king's staff. The boy was even christened and baptized in 1726, and he was a beloved member of their household until King George I's death. Following the death of King George I in 1727, Peter was passed from home to home until he was taken in by a farmer named James Fenn. Peter ran away from Fenn's farm in 1751 and was arrested in Norwich, where they actually mistook him for a homeless man. They just saw this scruffy, strange man walking around and thought that he was up to no good. And as he could not verbally communicate and they were unable to verify his identity, authorities sent him to a correctional institution called the Bridewell. So James Fenn had to place all of these advertisements in newspapers pleading for Peter to be returned to him, and he was eventually reunited with him after months and months of his capture. So to prevent similar issues in the future, Peter was forced to wear a brass collar engraved with his address and identifying information. Now there's actually pictures of this real collar. They kept it to put in museums, and it looks so uncomfortable and heavy, and this really makes him look like a pet because dogs wear collars, you know? Like, imagine wearing that around your neck for the rest of your life. Like, I get they were trying to keep him from getting lost and whatnot, but it's not ethical. So Peter lived with James Fenn until he too died, and then he went to live with another farmer named Brill. Although he had a history of running away from home, Peter developed a strong relationship with Brill and never ran away while in his care. Now, according to the legend, Peter refused to eat after Brill's death, and he essentially starved himself to death. Peter died in 1785 at the age of 73, and he is buried at St. Mary's North Church. And you can actually still go there and see his gravestone, although it's really degrading, it's super old. And the pictures that I see, there's like grass and plants growing all over it. Now, researchers that look back on this story of Peter think that he was actually disabled. Peter's behavior and inability to verbally communicate were assumed to be caused by his time living in the wilderness. However, researchers disagree with this, because back in the 1700s, it was not uncommon for parents to actually abandon their children if they were physically or mentally impaired. The infants or small children were simply left in the woods or other secluded areas where they would ultimately die of exposure to the elements or starvation. So it's unclear as to why exactly Peter was abandoned by his parents, whether it was on purpose or by accident. However, historians believe Peter's appearance, behavior, and inability to verbally communicate indicate that he had something called Pitt-Hopkins syndrome. Apparently, this is a genetic disorder that is similar to autism. It causes developmental delays, physical abnormalities, hooded eyes, fused fingers or toes, or the limited or no ability to talk or communicate. There's a portrait of Peter which was painted by William Kent that suggested he had many of the physical attributes and behaviors associated with this condition. So yeah, this legend of Peter is sort of a mystery. People think they know what happened, but we never will really know. But I thought his story was really intriguing and wanted to tell it on my channel. And if you guys like historical stories like this that are mysterious, maybe tragic, strange, give this video a thumbs up and I will definitely do more. But yeah, I hope you enjoyed this video. Don't forget we have the huge Boxing Day sale, well, Boxing Week sale on the website. I have linked it down below. But I hope you have an awesome rest of your day and I will see you in my next video. Bye!